Episode 197. Ooh, three away.
Feels good.
3 weeks away.
It feels good.
It does.
It also feels like we've done 16,000
We have.
episodes of this show. Like 197 doesn't feel.
Rogan did 200 episodes yesterday.
Exactly. That's the thing. Before noon.
Yeah. So episode 197, this may be the last show because we might get censored after this, but Keller Williams cuts their profit share. We're going to weigh in on that. We're going to get started right now. All right, episode 197. Thank you for joining back today. This one's going to be a fun one. It is Keller Williams cuts profit share. It is, it's a little bit of a hot topic right now, and that's something that we said we were going to start doing. We're going to start just reading headlines. And so this one here is Keller Williams cuts the profit share, and today's show is brought to you by our favorite sponsor. So thank you so much, Mortgage Mike. You're looking for that Mortgage Mike stamp of approval. Right, you just need to call Mortgage Mike. He's on the golf course. At least he was earlier.
What?
He was?
Yeah.
I talked to him
Thanks
last
for the
night
invite.
on the phone because he was sending me the link for the guillotine draft and asking if I was going to
Yeah,
be
I'm
in
out
it.
on that one.
I just remember being so revved up about it last year. I was talking mad smack. I was just so confident, and I was the first one out.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even by a little. I got destroyed in the first round.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm out on that one. So
I may or may not have won it last year.
yeah,
Did
Jesse
you?
won it. How much money did you win?
It was actually a pretty decent amount.
Yeah, that's why I'm out on
So
that.
I
Enough
need
for a
you
carton of
guys.
eggs.
I need you guys to go ahead
out on
and
the guillotine.
play.
But I'm not out on Mortgage Mike. So he's giving all the Mortgage Mike stamp of approvals right there. So go to mmgloans.com. That's Mortgage Mike Group. So mmgloans.com and tell him that we sent you over there. He's licensed here in Texas and Oklahoma. Then get that home warranty with Theron Smith. And I'm going to give a big shout out to Theron. His stuff actually works. Right? He actually has that armadillo hard shell protection. And Brian's texting Theron right now.
I've heard good things.
So he can tell Theron to go ahead and send that wire. Right? So no wire yet, but Armadillo home warranty. Go to armadillo.one/Tor, T-O-R-E. But just a quick shout out on them. They make it super easy. My brother-in-law's water heater went out while they were out of town. Theron walked us through it. All you have to do is go in and make a claim. And, my brother-in-law chose to use one of our preferred contractors. The plumber replaced the water heater. Then we just submit for reimbursement. So super easy. So armadillo.one/Tor. Thank you, Theron, and send the wire. And then last but not least, we've got two more last but not least. We've got Dana Wynn over at Homeward Property Management. If you're looking for a Dallas-Fort Worth, the best property manager in Dallas-Fort Worth, and that's Dana Wynn. She's managing a whole bunch right now. About to add 100 more doors to her under management side of things. So, we're super excited about that. And
So is she.
Yeah, she's super excited. Just go to homewarddfw.com. And then I do want to give a shout out to Jesse for a second with Tor Studios. He's the one who puts this together, this show. He puts the reels together. Where is this? And I get blown up here in my dang Facebook.
He's the reason we
messages.
got tons of live viewers right now. Look at this.
Absolutely. So Tony Caliendo has used Jesse over at Tor Studios. Thanks for referring Jesse. He is crushing it with our podcast production. I have sent him a referral already. Great guy, and I love working with someone that is independent.
I'm going to do this on the show because I doubt this person is watching. Do you know who that referral was?
Oh, we do.
Yes,
Yep,
I do know.
I told
who it
him.
is. Yes. Yeah.
I laughed.
Super excited about
laughed.
that.
It's beautiful.
So thank you guys, and thank you to our sponsors on that. And then joined our the only real estate group worth being a part of on Facebook. Thanks, Rebecca. Rebecca,
Oh, we said that at the same time.
yeah, Rebecca.
Wow.
Rebecca, she's really crushing on she's upping her video game. If no one's followed Rebecca, go follow her.
Yeah.
Because she's not just crushing on YouTube now. She's really going with the reels on all the social media platforms. She did
I remember when she was just getting started with YouTube.
Yeah.
And now she's just balling out.
Yeah, nice. She did our barn dominium in Salina and
I saw that.
did
Nice.
just a co-marketing brand. It was great.
I saw you both tagged in it. When like on Instagram, when there's two people like post the same reel or whatever, like the collaboration or whatever, I'm always like, well, what in the hell is this about? And I was like, that thing is sweet.
Yeah. So, go check out Rebecca Valera. I did call her Jane because I see the Jane pop
Yeah.
up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, introduce. I'm like, hey, meet Jane. I'm like,
You don't meet, and this is not to be sexist, you don't meet many women who do like the 3-name thing. That's right.
What do we think of the people who have the dual Facebook account where it's like Jeff and Mary
Oh,
Smith?
we already know.
Nope.
What's up.
Yeah. We all know the thing.
That's a funny archetype, and until you actually know someone who's in that situation,
Yep.
then it's like really crazy. Because I have some friends
I know some
that
people.
are no longer together and got divorced after many years, and they always had one of those
There's
types of
one of those.
accounts.
Yeah. Joint Facebook account. Yeah. It's probably very similar to what happened at Keller Williams Profit Share.
It just divorced itself from
It
everybody
did.
else.
It did. So if you don't know what
Nice
we're
segue.
talking about,
I like it.
you teed that one up. You don't know what's going on this one.
Don't even have time for the kids on that one.
No. Keller Williams just had Mega Camp. Was it last week? I think it was. And at Mega Camp, they have what's called their international ALC, Agent Leadership Council.
Yeah.
And they usually it's agents selected from offices and from the regions that come together and they vote on really important issues.
It's the World Economic Forum of
Yes.
real estate.
Yes. They handle everything, regardless brokerage or any alignments. They make the rules, and so there was some rumblings that it came out that they voted to take away or reduce it. At first, it was taking away profit share from agents that had been with Keller Williams that have left and gone to a competitor. And at first, they were like, just get rid of all the profit share. And now I believe they've removed 95% of that person's profit share tree and the money they're making, and there's just a lot of hot topics on this, lot of hot opinions.
Just seems a lot of people are upset because they're going to lose tens of dollars.
I did see
yes.
that. I did see that post. I think there are people out there. Look, I get it from a business standpoint. I saw Eli Torres post this in a lot of places. I get it from a business standpoint.
Sure.
Right? Like you can't. The part of it that for me, and I will say this as somebody who is a part of both of these things. I was at Keller Williams. I am now at EXP. I am one of the 65% of people who did not partake in profit share. I did not try to grow that side of my business. So I don't have any money in this. I want to say this up front.
I got a little bit yesterday.
Right? But what I do want to say is like
$12.50.
right? What I do want to say is like it was pitched to me and to everyone as willable. You can give this to someone else down the road. I think the issue that people have with it is not that it changed, is that it changed away from what it was supposed to be. And you can say it's just business, and it is just business, and there was no contract in place. They can do it, but that was not in the spirit of what was happening.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because again,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Can you like pull up some resource of like the details so I'm not just because I want to.
wait, you don't understand?
I just don't.
You're still at Keller Williams.
I don't want to do the thing where we go down a rabbit hole and I say totally wrong stuff.
Right.
Yeah. You
just
definitely
want to have some
don't want to.
clarity.
But I do want to, again, what you talked about, Matt, it is willable still, right?
Okay.
And so it is.
All 5% of it.
Yes. Well, 100% of it's willable.
Sure.
Right? So really, let's go way back. I joined Keller Williams back in 2007. And
It's that first one, dude.
yeah, and so in 2007, I remember going to Amy Downs was teaching profit share classes.
AD.
Yeah, that's right. And
Hey, what's
and,
your login?
Yeah, I need your login.
I'll send it to
Nick.
you. I'll send it to you. And I remember the conversation way back then of the recruiting a pitch when coming to Keller Williams was, first off, it was my listing, my leads. Right? It was also another recruiting pitch that was, if you were to leave this company, that you could take your listings with you, which is a big deal. I mean, there's still other brokerages that if you leave, they keep the listings, or if it's under contract, then they change the split on you.
Yeah.
Which at Keller Williams they don't, which is great, right? That's all the pitch that's talked about and why you would want to join a company.
Right.
Join that company.
Right.
And then the other one was talking about profit share. And with it, it's like, hey, it is willable, right? You can grow it to 7 levels. It could be a secondary income or retirement plan. And then also it was talked about that even if the cool thing is that even if you left, if you were vested, even if you left and went to a competitor, you still had it. And there was no problems for years. Like, I don't remember this ever coming up. You've been with Keller Williams for how long? 2011?
13, 12. This is my 13th year. 12 years.
12 years. 13th years, but 12 years.
Yeah, because you're
Still,
0 years.
I still count 13.
5 years.
Yes.
Whatever.
So 13 years.
Long time.
And when you joined, was that...
Yeah. That was the pitch. I think, and we're gonna probably throw a lot of hot sports opinions around, so I'm glad the kids are tuning in for this one. To that end, I would actually, I would contend that it wasn't pitched to me, or when I was, in leadership with KW, I didn't pitch it in that way, that it was designed that, like, if you left and went to a competitor, like, we're chill, dude. It was more like, it is willable and this is a retirement plan. When you leave Keller Williams because you're leaving the industry, your profit share will remain intact, is what I believe the spirit of it was. Now, am I speaking for every franchisee, OP, team leader that's ever had a recruiting appointment? Absolutely not. But I understand that the design was more, this is to build a legacy. And that is part of the game, is people do change brokerages. And I think that Keller Williams has always tried to honor that.
That's what it seemed
now
like.
This
yes.
is,
that's what it seemed like when the conversation was happening. Is like, even if you join another brokerage, because I know people, and I see both sides of the coins, by the way, like on this, both sides of the coin, where it's like, number one is the evolution of the brokerage.
Put that up. Someone finally agrees with me. Let's go.
Winner. Let's go, Rebecca.
The evolution of brokerages, right? So you had it to where it was heavy splits between on the brokerage versus the agent, and then you started getting into Remax came along and started offering that kind of that 100% graduated 100% model, but you had to pay a higher monthly fee.
Right.
Then Keller Williams comes along with offering the capped model. I think profit share didn't really come about until the late 80s, if I remember correctly from the story on that.
Well, I mean, it was 87 when the company was even invented, so it was relatively after.
That was 83.
83. You're
Yeah,
right.
it was
I
83.
remember because the John Keller pirate video just came out. 83.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah,
So a
83.
few years after.
Yeah, so there was no other companies that to my knowledge, and when I joined Keller, there's no other companies really offering that profit share, that recruiting style model.
Right.
And so, look, they weren't probably thinking about if someone left, because they weren't worried about them stealing or recruiting away people from that brokerage.
I think that's a really good point, because it's very easy to get, especially if you are somebody that left that is making great profit share. We all know people, that work for competitors know great profit share. It's easy to get petty about that. This is a promise you made and all those things. I just also will contend that something said or done or put in place and established 40 years ago, it's just as petty to say you didn't say that AI was going to be such a thing, and there's I don't have an opinion really one way or the other. I understand that industries and business models and things like that, they adapt and they change over time. This might feel very drastic.
Thanks, Ashley.
Also, I would contend, and this is not just the KW homer in me, was there any company before this offering anything like this to anyone else that left?
This is the thing, and this is what I was thinking about today. Like, this is happening in our local market with JPAR. Like, we're seeing brokerages protect money all over the place now, right? So, like, first off, just be aware that this might be coming to a brokerage near you. Anyways, like we're seeing, this is the big deal here. Everybody, like, JPAR just changed a bunch of stuff, and for you guys know, JPAR's
what did they change?
They're now charging a transaction fee.
No, they increased the cost of their transaction.
They increased the cost of it, and so it had some agents twisted off, whatever. This is also people voting with their emotions a little bit. This is a direct vote against EXP, right? Like, it just is. And I also think it's hard to watch somebody leave your house and then go build another house with your fucking money, right? Like, I completely get it from the business owner standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a really compelling case that, like, this is a direct response to a competitor, and it's kind of understandable, right? Like, it's 40 years ago or 35 years ago. Yeah, man, they're relatively similar business models. One was started by a former KW agent.
Yep.
I understand the hype around it because it's an interesting conversation. I also understand exactly what you're saying. Like, this is a very human thing. And I also get it. I very much get it.
And I don't know. One, this isn't a Gary Keller move, by the way. This is not.
That is important in
yes,
noting, by the way.
yes.
Gary Keller is still chilling. Gary's not losing money, and he has to rein this in.
Yeah, this
is
I will tell
representatives
you
of
firsthand,
market centers.
Gary's doing fine.
Yeah, because this is one of the things I will say, and again, I'm not even. I've said this on this show when I was with Keller Williams. Gary was never my guy in the first place. I didn't come to Keller Williams as Gary being my guy. That was never my deal.
It was Joe Williams,
right? Yeah, exactly. But Gary's definitely
Big Joe guy.
Gary definitely doesn't deserve the hate for this. If you're one of the, I saw this on a thread earlier. If you were, and one of them shockingly raised their hand to be just kind of antagonistic, I think. But the people on the IALC, literally, they are the ones who made this decision, right? They are the ones who voted. And I'm not saying turn your venom there, but that's at the level this decision was made.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the agents voting with their heart. And
Yes.
look, in my opinion, how this should go down. Because look, I am at the competitor.
Sure.
Have I taken some from the company? Sure. Could it be a lot more? I could try, but the way that I look at this is would this be a better time to double down on your messaging of why the company was created instead of changing things and taking things off the table, where I would go and say, hey, we are going to double down on our message because this is what we believe in. This is what the company grew because of this. And look, if you leave, that is your right to do so. And we have this in place as long as you are vested.
If you leave, you're going to need this money.
Well, yeah, that, and I still know people that left and still actually referred and put people in their downline.
Why wouldn't they?
Yes.
I
think it's
resonate
better
with
for some people. I think KW is better for some new agents specifically.
I absolutely resonate with what you're saying. The messaging, again, this is just an interesting conversation to me. I don't have a moral dog in the fight, but I absolutely understand that line of reasoning as well. Like, you could very well, position this as almost a marketing tactic.
Correct.
In the right ways. I would say the one opinion maybe that I have is that, the human side of this is very apparent to me in the
comment sections of Facebook.
Well, that's for sure. I would say in the intensity of the change, a stair-stepping model could have been an option. I'm not in those meetings. I don't know anything.
I think it also comes down to they're using it as you can come back within 6 months of this rule change and you'll stay in. And
that's just going to alienate more people. That's like one of those things where it's like, hey, that's like when your parents took your car away for compliance and said, if you're cool for a while, we'll give it back. So that works on some kids. Other kids are like, you know what? I'm going to go currently break more shit, right? I think that, and that's what we're seeing because this is I'm glad Brian brought up I think the intensity of it got cranked up to 1,000 immediately, which is where the human element comes in because we have watched people that have recently hopped between both of the brokerage that people would think who are bought and paid for, somehow getting on the train of why this is. That's the part of this I have a problem with.
Who are you referring to?
I'll gladly reach out to me offline and I will say it. And I would happily comment to this person online, but I'm not going to throw their name on the podcast.
They have a big Facebook group.
They do have a very large Facebook group. And my issue with that is people are jumping in the middle like they're some kind of emotional representative for this move when they have just very recently lily padded all around, right? Yeah. Because influential people, and that matters, right? Like if you're somebody who's known in both of these communities, your opinion needs to be an opinion of some sort of ethical boundary, and that's the problem is so many people are just so emotional about this. And then the big names in the middle that we all know are fighting about it kind of like kids in a way that's super not productive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's confusing to agents because there are agents who would be better off at one brokerage or the other. There's no doubt about that. But they get caught up in brand loyalty like it's a fucking political affiliation or their favorite college football team, and they end up losing out for their family because they don't open their eyes to whatever that possibility might be, right?
Sure.
And that's the part that sucks.
We do get pretty allegiant. We do.
Hell yeah.
Look,
People treat Keller Williams EXP like it's Texas OU or pick your college alignment.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna
either
say,
of them give a
it's-
rip about you personally at the end of the day.
It's
You know
all
what I
just
mean?
college football.
It is.
College football.
I've
man.
never understood. That's why you don't see me going back and forth in the Facebook groups, because look, there could be. Is there ever time I could be back at Keller Williams? Is there time I could be at a different broker's? And sure, I don't ever want to go back and have someone pull up 10 years ago Facebook or tweets
I'm
or,
so nervous
or
about
X.
this podcast, just in general.
Yeah, this is fine because I think ultimately there's when you create something and you grow your company with the ethics and the characteristics that Keller Williams was known for or is known for.
Sure.
And then you start to change them because you feel upset that people are leaving, that there's something new and different out there. That ultimately, that's the time to double down. It's not the time to take away. Now, look, EXP and other competitors, if you leave EXP, you don't retain your downline.
Yeah.
Right?
I was going to ask that. So that was never a thing.
It was never a thing, and that was from the start.
That's a pretty interesting point up there.
Yeah, I saw Ashley
don't-
post this.
I don't know enough about this.
I don't either. I saw Ashley post
I
it.
can't
Put that
read
up
it. We
on the
toss it up.
Yeah. So what Ashley Goladay put, what no one is talking about is is about the decrease to the profit share pool for the agents who are still there, and they can use profit share funds to defend lawsuits. So they did talk about that. I think I've heard through
Pretty
the
big
IALC.
lawsuit.
We've already talked about how easy it is to manipulate profit share on the book side as well.
Here's one thing I was like, I cannot imagine Keller Williams not having some sort of alternative method of defending lawsuits. So I understand maybe that's how the
Seems
money
like that's been
flew
going on a
before.
lot lately. So fun might be a little low.
I would have put it out there like, these things go through a lot of corporate red tape.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that those gaps have been filled.
sure.
I'm not disagreeing
Let-
with you. I just think that
Let me ask you: what is the percentage of agents that have left that are at a competitor that are actually making a substantial amount of profit share money? That's something we don't know.
No.
And
I
are
mean,
they
you
going to
could-
go sue? Like, let's be real. Like, I don't personally see a lawsuit coming from this.
No. What they're talking about is I don't think lawsuits regarding profit share.
That's what I heard.
It's-
That's the way
Oh,
I
is
read
that
it.
No,
what it
I don't
is?
think so. I
That's
think
the way
it's-
I've seen people
No.
post about it.
Ashley, chime in here because you seem to be in the know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was just like broker level lawsuits. Is that?
I imagine it's the massive lawsuits that are coming up against Keller Williams and all the other big brokers right now.
Maybe.
That's what I think.
that's what I was thinking.
No, I heard that the money again. If you're no longer in that spot to receive the profit share, I heard it's not going to anybody other than just the upline.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, EXP and Real are the only two that are really doing anything that's even remotely like this. And from, again, just looking at the masses and listening to people talk in comment sections or reading people's comments in comment sections, you're seeing a lot of the people who...
I know some.
Well,
Tens
no,
of
there are
tens of dollars.
Yeah,
a month.
we know
There's-
some people.
yeah, we know.
There are some.
There are some, and
Some.
Admittedly, like there are people who are going to be affected by this that are probably keeping their mouth shut because it's making them a little bit nervous. I think it's really easy to go put your D on the table right now when your profit share is really low and say you don't care about it. I think there's a lot of people right now who are still making money and they are shutting the fuck up because this genuinely concerns them.
Gonna call this out.
Yeah.
And I will only call this out once. The comment of is anybody making a substantial amount of profit share money? You have to understand that when you have a brokerage of 180,000 agents, worldwide,
Somebody
things
is.
like that.
Yep.
A lot of people are.
Yeah.
It's just that that competitor that we're talking about is still, or was for the last few years, a little bit more ground floor. You could say the same thing about that competitor 25 years from now. You're not going to be making revenue share in the hundreds of thousands of dollars the average agent is at
No.
XP. It just takes time
Well,
to build out.
the average agent's not going to make it anyway. Like,
Yeah,
that's-
exactly. So
like
that goes both ways.
yeah.
is all I'm
If we look
saying.
at if we look at this, both of the style of companies, and now there's like, I saw someone post there's like 16 or 17 more types of competitors to that EXP model now. That's
Oh, yeah, it's spreading like
similar
crazy.
to that was an evolution of the profit share model. It's just this. It's a similarity to network marketing,
yeah.
right? So like. In either of those companies, there's only a small percentage that's going to take advantage of it. That's going to earn a
Well, you know why?
substantial
There's
amount.
44 different pairs of iPods now. There's Beats. There's
Because to take advantage of that network marketing model, guess what it's like. It's like having a successful real estate business.
Yes.
Right? You have to be energetic. You have to fucking go out and lead generate. You have to have systems in place.
Yeah.
All the stuff that real estate agents typically don't want to do. So they're not going to go do it on the if you're not going to do it to sell houses, you're not going to do it to convince other people.
I mean, honestly, if you wanted to get into some sort of network marketing, thing and be successful, real estate's like one of the toughest industries to do it in because so many people leave so quickly.
Yeah.
Like that's a bonus to your real estate career. But if you were just going to be successful in only that, dude, go sign up for Go High Level and then just sell affiliate.
Just sell affiliate links all day.
You'd make a fortune, right? So
See,
all
right, put that up because that's the way I understand it. The verbiage is administration and defense of the profit share program. So it is
related to the profit share
so
program.
any and all funds in the profit share program may be utilized by KWRI for administration and defense of the profit share program, which to me is like, look, again, I don't know how many people that are agents that are former KW agents that are making a large amount of profit share that's at a competitor.
right.
And that's going to bring a lawsuit. I mean, it would have to be less than 20.
And I would think regardless, they've probably already filled that gap.
Sure.
If a certain amount of money was going towards a defense fund or whatever, it's probably getting allocated from a different place now.
Yeah, unless it's a newer person that left, and maybe they're making $50,000 or $60,000 a year.
We've thought of it.
I'm not going to text Gary. I would say this.
Ashley will text
The
Gary.
thing that you I think you might be overlooking though is class action is different, right? Any of y'all get the 4-pack of Red Bull a few years ago?
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
You signed up for that?
because I was like 21. This is like over a decade.
I was going to
ago.
say you said a few years ago.
Oh, you're getting the BlockFi.
I didn't sign up.
You need to sign up.
Oh, Facebook. That's another one.
So class action.
I signed up. Let's go.
Enough people get together,
So I don't sign up for any of those.
but enough people do. Is all I'm saying. So it's not it wouldn't be individual lawsuits. I think.
Should I sign up for this one if it's coming, just so we can talk about it on the show?
I don't want to encourage you to do anything, dude. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Dang, I might just open a Pandora's box there.
Say cannot provide
I
legal
might just
counsel.
given thousands of people an
Yeah.
idea. That's
Look,
not my intent.
The amount of energy that has gone to it. I mean, the reason we're talking about it is we're seeing the post, which is like even someone not really within the industry texted me about it, and I don't understand. I don't understand why we get so up in arms about this. And I think Matt, both of y'all said this is like, is this going to ruin your real estate business?
Yeah, go sell a
No.
house.
How does this impact your real estate day-to-day business?
It shouldn't at all. Honestly, to be honest with you, like since so few agents focus on this in the first place, we are still speaking to a small amount of people that is actually going to affect anyways. But even that amount of people probably needs to make selling homes their first priority and focusing, especially for the next 12 months while we're in whatever we're in from a real estate market perspective.
I used to do one-on-one coaching with Tom Fair, and I got into it through a big real estate seminar I went to, and I will never get this out of my head that we were like at every turn we talk about objection handling and adversity and mindset, and Tom Ferry's reaction was like the solution to everything is just go sell a house.
Yeah.
Like just go sell a house. Like anything that's going on or whatever your business is facing, just go sell a house. And so we get so wrapped up in these things, but it's like, dude, if you went and sold 2 more houses a month,
It wouldn't make a difference.
You wouldn't care about this at all.
Well, a lot of the sentiment that I was seeing today too from people who I think I was looking for intelligent, balanced comments. Right, the people who are commenting on one side or the other, it's the exact same thing. Again, as political affiliation. Like if all you're going to do is say your person is right 100% of the time, I'm not going to listen to you because that's impossible, right? And so like I was looking for that from people, and I think one of the things that I saw from both sides was that people were very understanding why it existed, and the people who were on the side most affected by it, people losing the profit share, most of them had resigned that fact already, and it had decreased so much because think about this. If you did have influence over people and you brought them into Keller Williams, and then you moved to another company that has the same opportunity or more opportunity, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah. You're going to call, those would be the first people you call to see if they want to come with you. So if you were the type of person who was pouring into your profit share, if that was your mindset anyways, and then you move over to a place that has rev share, or does Real have rev share also is the same thing? Okay. Yep. So you move to any of these companies that have revenue share, those are going to be the first people you call. So chances are you
think NBA dynasties are built?
You're going to go pinch all the people you can anyway. So I think a lot of people
call your friends from the old team.
That's exactly. They did do that. They backed off that a little bit. It's not happening as much as it seemed like.
You know what how to solve this is we go start our own brokerage that offers revenue share and profit share.
And profit share.
But you don't get to keep the revenue share if you leave, but you can keep your profit share. And then it goes public, so we offer stock. And then we run a JPAR flat fee transactional model.
For some reason, I feel like we don't make any money in this brokerage
We
model.
don't. That's the thing is you don't.
I also want to offer stocks.
Well, that's what I said. We go public.
Somebody else.
He said
Somebody else.
so he used fancy grown-up language
Here's what we do.
for stocks.
We are totally digital. We don't provide E&O insurance. We actually don't have a broker. But it's
Figure it out yourself.
super cheap. Everything is rev shared, profit shared,
There is
everything
a
on top. You just give us $10 a month to be part of this fake brokerage.
There is a weird
Yes.
real estate loophole that exists because we actually know a person for a long time who called themselves a broker who didn't have the hours to have brokers, but somehow there's a broker that lends you their broker name to say you're a broker.
It's
a
like
rent-
it's
renter
like
broker.
renter
It's-
broker.
okay,
It's
so
like
like
a fee
a-
attorney thing.
So that we need. That's what we're gonna do. I guess. Sounds like that.
Yeah, let's put that one up, Jesse, by Kelly. So those of us who pioneered KW in areas who had never heard of KW spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we were disenchanted with the promises. They lose their profit share.
I get it.
Like Kelly, you're
It's-
right. You're not wrong, and that is and that was the point I was making. Is like we can joke around about everyone getting up in arms about this, but
This is going to affect some people.
it will affect the people
At the
and-
franchisee level,
Yes.
especially, this is actually a very important thing.
And number one is you shouldn't be changing. You are changing what built you for the most part because of a competitor. And aren't we taught not to look at what our competitors and stay within our lane and
Like
just
there's the meme of the guy looking over at Michael Phelps.
Yes.
While Michael Phelps is reaching
Exactly.
forward.
Yes.
It's such a that meme's hilarious. It's such a human thing though too, because how many of us, if we're being honest, have went and looked up some other agent's production just to see where we rank against them,
course.
right? Like it's such a human thing, and we think that sometimes people get successful or their businesses get big and they stop acting like children. And they just don't. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily that, right? Because again, this was done many people making a decision. But like, why was it on the table in the first place? How does IALC stuff get put on the table?
So
I don't know that.
Rebecca just said it was voted locally on local ALC. So
Okay.
I don't know how they.
It's like the Supreme Court.
Well, it comes.
gotta get
Obviously,
elevated.
there's agendas, maybe top down, that still has to be approved by the agents.
Yeah.
And
I feel like this one's probably been on the list for a few years.
It has, like
to
this
talk
has been a
about
hot
it.
topic
Yeah.
of it for sure. But the problem that I see with it is that you are having your agent leadership who's supposed to have the voice of the agent for the office, right? That's what the ALC is about.
Yeah.
And are they truly taking the voice of the agent in by saying, or are they influence, right? You're in a leadership position. Should you say, you know what, you're right. If you leave this company and you have profit share, you don't, even though those agents are still here at Keller Williams,
Yeah.
you don't have the right to keep that.
The problem is, like anything, we read the bad reviews before we read the good reviews, right?
Yes.
And the bad reviews are EXP agents, and I'll just use that because I think we all know that's where this is focused.
Yep.
EXP agents are bad, and they're taking Keller Williams agents. And on the other side, there's not enough Keller Williams agents who know people who this profit share is important to their current life. They like Callie said, she poured her heart and soul into building Keller Williams. We get a little like I think everybody knows about Keller Williams because we're in Dallas and we're like 3 hours from
This
the
is like where
epicenter
it
of it.
started,
Yeah, there's so many people who, like she said, blood, sweat, and tears to grow that company,
Yeah.
who have left for whatever reason, right? With the promise that it was still going to be there, and that may be money that moves their life forward in a specific way that now is no longer there.
Well, they left. They brought a Keller Williams there for a better opportunity.
But
they were at
these-
a competitor, right? So then they did the Keller Williams thing. Then they found something that was better for them.
This is the problem with ALC making this decision, though. You know who was on ALC their first year at Keller Williams? Me. You know who should not have been on ALC their first year at Keller Williams? Fucking me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the whole system is wrong to begin with. So if I take a bunch of people at the very entry level point who are going to succumb to peer pressure and aren't even the ones who are supposed to be making that decision in the first place, and then they vote to send their ALC person to Mega Camp to then make that vote, that's the problem is people are going to lose out
Yep.
because
Let's go with those, Jesse.
Yeah,
I
pop
agree.
those up
So
there.
let's go with I want to go bottom first. Let's go with Rebecca. If you can put that up. Rebecca we didn't put this agenda. Yeah, we didn't put the agenda on the list. We were told to discuss this and vote locally. So again,
Facts.
it comes top down.
Yep.
So it's a top down vote, but it's still voted on locally by the agent.
It
that
is.
that then makes the move into the international ALC.
And
so
we're all salespeople for a living. I can present a question to you that's going to get you likely to say yes to it, especially if it's something that doesn't affect you at all.
Yes.
Right? It is very easy to get the
yet.
outcome that you want. I believe, if it's not affecting those people directly. And that's why I said, not knowing the people who are counting on this profit share who have left and only looking at it as people who leave and take profit share are bad people, probably had some people voting the wrong direction that they wouldn't have if they'd seen some people who still count on
you
this
can
money.
be like, do you think that this person who left deserves to keep the profit share that they are now poaching from our office? They're
1000%.
taking profit away from you guys.
Yep.
And so you present it that way, like, well, no, they don't deserve that. But then if you go up,
Can I ask? I'm so sorry to interrupt. Can I get some? Jesse, you might be able to provide this or not. There's something in there about going to a competitor. Is that part of this, or is
Yes.
that assumed?
no, this is part of it.
Is a competitor every single other real estate brokerage on the planet?
I just want to make a point of clarity. This does not, by the way, affect anybody who, their path was, I built a region, I did whatever, and then I built my legacy and retired. I only want to make that one point of clarity. If I left and didn't join a competitor,
Yes.
I just only want to make that point of clarity just to bring it back to
It's literally right there, dead middle of that article.
Yeah.
It said
Yeah.
former KW agents
Okay.
retired, left the industry altogether,
They're
will
fine.
retain their full profit share distribution.
So I only want to make that point. We haven't brought that point up
that's
yet. That we are getting. I understand everything that we're saying. Going back on a policy and all this type of stuff. Just to bring it back to where we were before, right? Like no one else even offers this, so I understand it. I just want to make it clear that like there is nobody sitting at home right now who's 75 years old that built a region that's retired that's like all of a sudden losing their paycheck.
I wouldn't know who those people
Some
would
of the comments in some of the groups we're talking about would make you think
Yes,
that.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
And that's
of course.
untrue.
Yeah. So I would say that, again, when we look at this, and
What was that other comment you wanted to pop
Yeah, I
up?
want to go to
think-
Nick Spirito.
I wanted to keep going down that road, John.
So he said, certainly does not sound like their value system. We work tirelessly to grow our region. It's about doing the right thing. And that, look, if I was still at Keller Williams, I'm going to tell you right now, I believed number one, because I remember back in 2017 when we were, I was at family reunion and Gary, I think they counted how many times he mentioned the competitor.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are we talking about it? Like, number one is
What
like,
you focus on expands, baby.
yeah, exactly. And my thought process, if I was still at KW today, I'd be like, guys, why does it matter? It's all about continuing to build the value. If you're telling me that the value is in this brokerage, and the value is in this office, or the team leader and the agents here, we shouldn't be worrying about agents leaving and poaching, because it should be so strong within that they're not going anywhere.
I could certainly see that. I look, like I said, before, I think that this actually could have been, a great marketing tactic around, resilience, and this is how we do it no matter what. Just to maybe address that comment or to put this out there as well. I also understand that viewpoint of like, this was the way it was, and now that's not the way it was anymore. And I would also challenge that just slightly in that if you were in any other industry, you ran a grocery store, and then you went and ran a competing grocery store, the first one wouldn't still.
Not necessarily. No.
And maybe,
no.
and maybe I.
Let me give you a different viewpoint.
Okay.
Let's say that you're at a company that offers a pension, right? So we'll kind of use the pension one on this one.
Yeah, I think that's 2 in the hole for Brian today.
From what I remember, this is only for new left and actively recruited to their new brokerage. Again,
How do you?
I don't think that I've never heard actively recruited to their brokerage. I've heard if they're at a competing
That's all I meant.
brokerage.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But
Yeah,
that's,
competitor
that's all
part
I
for
meant.
sure.
But let's look at it from a pension, or you stay at a company for a while and you get stocks or shares or pension that vest.
That's a good
right?
point. Yeah,
and
I'm-
I know people that have left companies
Yeah,
that are vested in that company that's now working for competitors.
you're right. I mean, honestly, I actually don't have a
That is what vesting is.
I am adult enough to know when that. To be human about it. That's a really good point.
So
I don't think
so
I thought about
look,
it that way.
I don't care. I don't have a dog like you have to renew every year. You have to pay $25 to keep your vesting. Like KW made it so hard to do it that I think I lost mine this year anyway. Like I kept saying, "Hey, who do I send my money to?" And they never would respond back. But it was to my point of this is like, again, I would double down on the values of why we are here at this company. If I was still here at Keller Williams, that's what I'd be doing. I'd say, who cares? I think you should be vested. You know what? You did put money on the line. You had loans out there. You had to run an office. You had the stress of that. You grew it. You recruited. And how many people are still here because of you?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't affect
So
anybody
from
who's
that,
still at
our
Keller Williams,
value
sure.
here is that we're not going to worry about what the competitors are doing. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on building our agents, number one. We're going to pour so much value in there that you don't want to leave us.
Sure.
Don't you think this also has a weird back door to it that makes it really difficult for people to, again, like Brian said, this is what everybody else is already doing. All you did was really level the playing field going forward and saying that like the people that leave Keller Williams don't get profit share, just like if you leave EXP, you don't get rev share. All this stuff was in place. So you've just brought it back down to the base level. You're not adding that extra thing, right? Doesn't this make it hard from kind of an integrity standpoint, though? Doesn't it make it harder to sell profit share as a reason why you should join Keller Williams, especially from a team leader position?
I don't know.
Can you pop that comment? I don't.
Well, they're just saying vesting in stocks and getting profit share aren't the same, is what they're saying.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I don't quite understand that comment, but I definitely would love to dive deeper on that. The one point I make there is actually vesting and investing are complete opposites. Investing is buying interest in a company. Vesting is earning it.
Yeah, so you're vested in. You've earned
Yeah.
it from.
Yeah.
And I'm not even
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that
no,
like
yeah,
an opinion.
yeah,
I'm just saying
yeah.
like those are the differences.
Yeah,
right?
no, 100%. So, the way that you're right. The way that I see all of this, again, it's like I don't want her to have to say it so many freaking times. It's like your value should be there. Yeah. Like at EXP, there is the EXP problem that I will say, like the competitor problems, is that they're starting to slip in, stuff in their independent brokerage or the independent contractor agreements about non-competes and non-solicitation. Yeah. I do have a little bit of problem with that as well. And that's at all competing brokers. Like when you
ICA?
ICA. So I even think KW has it, but my understanding, this was a big deal at EXP, which is if you leave EXP and you start, let's say I want to take my downline. Well, technically I'm not supposed to go and reach out to them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm the one who put the money into it. I'm the one who put the work into it.
I'm
the one who has invested time, energy, and effort. I'm the one fielding the phone calls. And so to me, like I see problems in
Definitely.
in everything from this. And so it's like
this is maybe the tip of a lot of conversations around companies doing something similar, I think. Yeah. This is the most public one right now.
I think this is the beginning of the end for real estate brokerages.
You talked about J-Power before. It's people are tightening up right now. So I think there's many more conversations potentially like this to come.
Yep.
For sure.
And I don't I think Ashley, I understand what you're saying is like they diluted it or they made it harder. So she talked about, Ashley, if you put that up there.
Well, I think
Jesse,
that guarantee isn't there anymore. So it's
which is why talking about the fact they made it harder to earn profit share for the ones that are still there. I believe that is the dilution of it. I think there's a dilution of profit share or a tiered amount, which is what she posted earlier. And Rebecca, I just got confirmation that those agents who were vested but actively recruiting to another brokerage are the ones that lose their profit share.
How do you track that?
Yeah.
Like how do you track that?
Who's the police monitor?
You gotta wait for Greg to come and tell you like, hey, Matt called me. And make sure to yank his profit share.
Yeah.
Like, how do you there's no way to monitor that. Am I being ridiculous? That seems impossible.
No, I think there's got to be some data feed somewhere where you can see who's going to other.
Just like KW have the
brokerages
back door
and,
into EXP's sponsorship thing, so they can see who's sponsoring agents.
Don't forget the KW's a technology company, so.
Somebody explain to me that.
You might be able to look at that. I don't know. I don't know if you can publicly somehow look at who sponsors people for KW. I don't know.
I could just hear.
Yes, you used to.
So if that's existed.
Okay, so maybe.
It's not public.
But if you Google,
can,
if you search the right stuff,
you can through KW Intranet.
Okay, so
yeah,
wait, they voted to increase it.
Increase profit share.
Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah,
somebody's on our side. I don't know what side we're on.
No,
I'm not on
sides.
I'm on the
There is
side
no
of
side.
I'm messing.
Like always, I'm on the side
Fair
of
and
logic.
logical and balanced.
Yes.
I'm on the side of logic.
We're like
it's-
Fox
it's-
News.
It is crazy to
Yeah.
allow somebody to make money from you, to use it against you, to come and tell people that your company's not great.
Yeah.
Right? That is really difficult. And there's a lot of people being screwed by this who that's not what they're doing. And I still don't think the active recruiting, I just can't. Somebody's got to tell me how you can track that. I just don't think you, because think about this.
I think it'd be harder than.
I think it's going to be easier. It's going to be harder to disprove. That's the problem is. Like if I'm not doing it and you say I leave.
So the question is, what is actively recruiting?
What does that even mean?
So if I'm invited,
so subjective.
if I'm invited
What if
to
you're
a
such
panel,
a strong leader, people follow you.
So
Yeah, what if there's that? Yeah.
Or if we're hosting a tour panel, the only real estate podcast, 200 episode,
The only real estate panel we're sitting in front
200
of.
episode road show, and
Go to Santa Fe first.
we're just talking, and someone comes up and you're like, you know what,
I was just there. Santa Fe's over.
really logical, and I just want to join. Am I actively recruiting, or is that passive recruiting? Like what's the difference?
What did
Yeah, this
Rebecca say?
whole-
She put my. I just want to see.
She doesn't
Yeah.
know how they're policing. But
Yeah.
we do this even just in our day to day. We talk about the difference between recruiting and attracting,
Yes.
right? We don't even do it in the realm of legalness. We just do it in the realm of our careers and building a business.
Correct. And
So
so,
this,
to me, again, it
Seems like it's really loose language, which allows them to yank it from any. It seems like the
Yeah.
loose language is better for them than it is for the agent.
yeah, and just muddies the waters. And again, my opinion is it when you're on the ropes, and it feels like, I'm going to use the word desperation, right? It feels like a desperation type of move to try to retain agents, or maybe you have some agents that are making just enough profit share that it would suck to lose it, to where it's going to make them second guess leaving.
I think it's more you can leave, but because look, I'll just be straight up. I experienced this, dude. I mean, with my recent change, my social media engagement has went down. Right, like I have watched people who were Team Matt just not really give a shit. Right, like, and this is just social media wise. Right, this isn't anybody in my personal life, but you see people when you switch to the other team not as happy for your success anymore. That is a fucking fact. Right, and that's what this really is. Like you say the desperation thing. I think it is an emotional. You can leave me, but also fuck you. I'm going to burn your shit on the way out the house. I'm throwing all your stuff in the lawn on the way out the door. That's what it feels like. And anybody who says it's not, I don't think you're paying a ton of attention.
Brian, I think we should dissect this.
Well, we all have ex-wives.
Yes, on this show, except for Jesse.
I don't.
I agree that I think this is a very human thing.
Yes. Yeah. It's human. It's emotional, and that's where, when you take it this far, right? When you take it this far of
Very exactly.
Making these types of decisions. Again, was it broken? Let me ask you. We were all here, and you're here. Is it broken?
I mean, I can't speak to the financials of a company that large. So on a local level.
But it doesn't hurt the company. Let's just say that.
Okay.
You're paying out profit share to someone who's no longer. It's not hurting the company. And in my opinion, again, it's already going out, right? So
Yeah.
I think that there's some brokenness to how profit share is paid out.
Well, okay.
That's a whole different.
That's
different show.
We could go for another hour because for offices to pay profit share, the office has to be profitable.
Correct.
And in most cases, anybody with substantial profit share is also a substantial producer who's going to pay a cap. Maybe you have a team that pays multiple caps.
Yeah.
I couldn't even begin to unravel that math.
Yeah.
So I don't want to speak on.
So again, my thing is, was the profit share system broken to a? That's a great point. That is sorry.
We are masters at asking for
Yeah.
forgiveness.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are we in a KW office right now? This is the Tor Studios.
Yeah, this is Tor Studios.
Don't reveal our
TorStudios.com.
secret location.
Yes. But to me, it wasn't broken in a sense of how the system works, right? You have 7 downlines. You can recruit. You can recruit to any office. The cool thing that I love about Keller Williams and how you can actually recruit versus like an EXP or Real or some of the others is that you're actually allowed to run recruiting ads just to build your profit share.
Yeah.
EXP, you are not allowed to do that.
Really?
You cannot run just to build your downline. You cannot run ads just for your downline. It has to be for your team only.
What is the philosophy there?
A bunch of dickweeds took it went way too hard in the paint for a
Maybe.
while.
Which
Let's also be honest. That is part of the reason this whole KWEXP hate thing started in the first place. everybody just wanted to hate on each other on both sides of it, right? And then the recruiting was over the top. So everybody's like, so and so is just constantly calling and recruiting, and this is all they do, and they're trying to take people, and then dudes were doing it way over the top and being idiots. Yeah, and I think it's smart that EXP stepped in and was like, hey, I didn't know that thing about running ads. Not that I would, anyways, but I mean, I think that makes sense.
I mean, I think there was a certain shape that people thought it kind of was. What is it, like a triangle or a pyramid or something?
Yeah, a little
bit. I don't know.
And is it not? I mean,
both?
Look, everything's a pyramid, so I think you need to throw the word scheme after it.
Well, exactly.
Oh, see,
I think
that was the wrong word.
If the service you provide as a brokerage is your value proposition, imagine in any other industry, right? Like, if anybody could just buy Gucci bags and then start an online store that looked like crap and be like, here's my Gucci store. Gucci would be like, hey, don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't need your fucking Canva print. Whatever stuff.
I look, Jesse, I get what you're saying is people threw the word pyramid scheme around. By the way, they did that with KW. When I joined in 07, I remember my old broker was, he didn't like KW agents because the KW agents weren't trained very well back then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just you're going, the conversation back then was, go to KW when you're new to get the training and then come to us. And that was usually Remax saying that, by the way. Yeah. Come to us when you want to sell a lot of houses.
Yeah. Callie, I see your comment where she says, we popped that up there. So if you're not actively recruiting, you don't lose your profit share. That's one of the comments it looks like. I mean,
So just
look around.
So just inactively,
We're not like the
just inactively
authority
recruit.
on this.
We're just trying to bring some opinions together.
If you're not active in it, you're not working out recruiting, then it's fine. Inactive recruiting is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Again,
they're like, hey, what's that brokerage you're at?
Yeah. Yep.
There's a few letters to it.
Yeah. It seems like someone from the top made a stink about how it wasn't fair that some people over there were clearly recruiting investors and receiving profit share, and that's how it started, and then it trickled down. So, Rebecca, you're right.
Yeah, and can we? She uses a word in there about 10 or 12 words in. It's the word fair, and this is the problem, right? Fair is for children. Fair is for who has to ride in the front seat and who gets to ride in the back seat when you have kids.
It's also for
fair
corn
is
dogs.
not adult speak, okay? You don't live in a fair world. Whenever I hear adults start saying things like, it's not fair that Jeff gets to do this and I don't, you are on a slippery,
It is a company,
slippery
though.
slope.
Well, first of all, fuck Jeff. You guys know me well enough. Just kidding.
Let Jeff fall down. I think anytime a business decisions are being made that involve the word fair, and I believe that exact word has been used, I think you're on a slippery slope of making a childish decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair is for corn dogs.
No,
and funnel
I
cakes.
agree, and look, the world isn't fair, but that's a privately owned company.
Sure, and I'm not saying they couldn't do it. That's what I'm saying. They're legit.
I will say, look, in the network marketing world, didn't Avocare change how they paid out their commission structure? That was a whole big stink. So, they changed everything in that. And so,
What's Herbalife doing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
can you still do Herbalife?
I didn't know you could still do Avocare.
Yeah.
Which one is Jason
Those
Witten?
business models.
Jason Witten was Avocare.
If I go to Sunglass Hut, they don't try to make me sell sunglasses.
But you could.
I could just buy some.
Well, and here's why I think, from a real
But
estate
if you
perspective,
get 3 of your friends, then you get free
I
sunglasses.
just want the one pair of sunglasses.
right?
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, the from a real estate perspective, none of this works if you're not a viable real estate agent. I don't think you can bring. I'm not saying that you can't run ads or convince people to join you if you don't sell real estate, but at the end of the day, you need to go out there and sell houses in order to be the attractive character who is going to attract people to profit share or rev share anyways, right? Yeah. And for agents, that's the question you need to be asking at the end of all this. Whether you take advantage of either of these things in the first place or you're just selling houses, make sure that the people that are mentoring you and training you are people who are actually going to who actually have the business you want. The biggest problem in this is so many people have an opinion about this based off some other person's opinion because they don't understand enough of it.
That's a good point.
Follow and watch the people whose business you care about and mimic them more than the comment section.
And join their downline.
And join their downline or profit share line or whatever you're fucking going to join.
No, I'm with you, dude. This is just such a hot sports take in general.
Can we get Glenn and Gary on?
Oh my God!
We talked about this before.
I want to so bad.
And I think we came to the conclusion it was a bad idea.
Probably a
No,
bad
I think it's a
idea.
great idea now.
Okay.
I mean, it's so heated, and so I think it's so.
I mean, you've got two
definitely.
EXP agents. You've got two Keller Williams agents. I mean,
I think, yeah. Are we talking about having them like Elon and Zuck it out
That's-
on the show,
that's
or are
where
we
I-
talking about having them on
yes,
two separate
That's where I was
shows?
going next.
on the
I don't
show
think they come
at
on
the
at the same
same
time.
time.
Do you think that we could get Gary, Ed, and Glenn to do it the same time as Elon
Episode
and
200.
Zuckerberg? So who would open for whom?
Where does Glenn
Brad Inman would MC the whole thing.
Yeah,
go down to Austin and do a road show?
let's do it.
Episode
Where's
200.
Glenn?
He's in the meta world.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
He's just
he's
uploaded.
taking a boat right
not
now.
even a real
currently.
guy.
He's an
yeah.
avatar.
It took Brian a second. Did you see his?
He's currently going from the lobby to a class
Yeah.
about contracts.
Like once you sign your independent contract, you become virtual. We're not even Matt and I are no longer real people.
Okay, so we can wrap with this because I got to go in a little bit. With all this aside, what is the usage of
this
the
is
meta
interesting.
EXP world? Is it pretty big? Are people still playing kickball? Or
I have
soccer?
not went in. I've not even logged into it one time.
Yeah,
I
but you
will-
don't count, Matt.
I'm only going to say one thing that is the KW homer in me is that was a big thing like 4 years ago. People were pumped.
The Sims world thing.
The
Part of
Sims,
it?
yeah.
You know
And
what?
if you think real estate agents are already easily distracted,
I've dove in all the systems. I just don't go into the.
Yeah. What?
you don't walk around on the
I don't do
digital
it. I
campus.
don't do
You know what? I believe that as the virtual reality or augmented reality world gets better with, the augmented glasses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then you can go easily. So I think that evolves into. I believe that that's where that virtual real estate office goes, where you put on those glasses. You're able to then go into that and.
Let me just ask, so describe this to me. Who is the person that doesn't want to go to a real office but wants to go to a fake office when I could just jump on Zoom calls?
I'd rather, if I could put glasses on to
And
go into the
pretend
world,
I'm going to an office?
just to get some questions answered or go hang out.
I would
for
just
sure.
jump on
yeah.
Google Meet.
I own an Oculus. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And I
that's
don't
what
think
I'm
most people
I'm
are.
gonna say we all own.
I think it's a cool thing to have there.
It's
but
just
I mean,
we're on like 9 Zoom calls a day now.
I'm about to be back on the Oculus game. I think.
Really?
There's some
you wanna
cool
play
things.
golf?
They do got some.
I
cool
was
Yeah,
gonna
things.
say-
there's a golf one that
a new golf one?
Heather's
Brian,
brothers-
Jesse, and I would just play golf with each other.
Yeah,
and
we
we get
would.
big and we just sit there and smack each other with the golf.
That's a funny one.
So
That shit was hard.
I just
was fun.
again I believe that the augmented reality it kind of settled down for a little bit because AI is now
Yeah.
the hot topic.
It
It's
is.
just
So-
got to be so much more seamless.
So
Yeah.
that's what. So supposedly the Oculus
Like an
3 is
implant.
coming out that is coming smaller and
Like
smaller.
razor thin.
I mean, there's the Apple. Have you seen the Apple one?
Yeah.
It's real expensive right
You
now.
guys
but
know,
it's
like
so
eventually it'll be a contact lens.
yeah.
Or an implant.
I'm wearing that.
Oh, an implant.
I want to.
Just
I've
saying.
always wanted the movies where you blink and then it's just like in the scene, it's like the regular person walking, they blink and it goes in. It's like the heads up display, like in a plane, in their eyes, and it tells them all the stuff that's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Scans
robot
faces
eyes as
and-
soon as those bitches are available.
Dude, I need that so bad.
I'll
Like,
be first
I'm
in
so
line.
bad about seeing people and remember their face, but I don't remember their name.
Oh, we
if
do
I could
that.
just have a little contact lens, it just tells me. It's just like, hey, this is so and so. This
I get
is
it.
Jeff.
But Jesse, you will remember every tour studio.
I absolutely do
you know,
already.
podcast
studio.
host. So go to tourstudios.com. You know what Jesse won't do? He's not going to get rid of your profit share from there.
No,
He definitely won't. He's not taking away. It is willable, arrowable.
you can grow that too.
You can. So tourstudios.com if you're looking to, get better with your video marketing, your reels. If you want to do shows like this, where this one today was definitely a hot topic.
Jeez, I almost feel bad wrapping it up.
Yeah. So go to tourstudios.com and then visit our other sponsors. You go to Mortgage Mike. It's Mortgage Mike or mmgloans.com. If you're in Texas or in Oklahoma, he's giving you that Mortgage Mike stamp of approval. He's an amazing loan officer. So reach out to him. And then if you've got investors or if you've got people that have some rental properties here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and they're looking to leverage out and have the right management company, you need to talk with Dana Wynn over at Homeward DFW. It's homewarddfw.com. And then get that armadillo protection, that hard shell protection for the home warranty, armadillo.1/tour. Theron, send the wire. And we're going to see you next week, man. Because Brian's gone in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Yeah,
We'll have something.
he's going to the Hamptons.
So our 200th episode will be in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on how Nick and I feel when Brian's gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because one of the things that people don't know about this show is Brian is the reason that we show up the
Should
majority
we-
of the time.
So when
Brian goes out of town and me and Nick are like, you have an idea for a date? Nope. All right, see you next week.
Okay.
when Brian's not here, we'll redo this show and just go it from two EXP
Just
sides.
go out of the EXP
Two
side.
EXPers point of view.
Yeah. Right here in this neutral office
Tune in.
space.
Yes.
I'll watch.
All right, we're done with this show today,
Yeah.
Jesse.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Make us look like something else on the screen now.
Hey, by the
instead
way,
of
go to the
ourselves.
only real estate group worth being a part of.
Oh, yeah, leave us a review.
Yeah.
No, that's on Facebook.
And then watch this.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Hey, thank you for watching. We truly appreciate it. Checking out another episode of the Only Real Estate Podcast worth listening to. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead, hit that share button, hit that like button, and hit the subscribe button. Right? We're dropping more stuff on YouTube constantly. If you're on iTunes, leave us a review, please. We're really, really focused on building up those reviews so we can get more searchable content on there. And if you're on Facebook, like everyone else is, go over and search the only real estate group worth being a part of. You're going to want to go join that group. I'm telling you right now, there's so much gold in there. So go join, share us on YouTube, and leave us that iTunes review, please. Go do it right now. We'll see you on the next show.